everybody, it's Daryn Wood, and welcome back to another episode of The Gift of Gab. And I'm joined here by my wonderful and beautiful best friend, Allie Haugen. Say hello.
Hello.
And today we are going to talk about all the changes made to the Ranger class from the 2014 Player's Handbook to the 2024 Player's Handbook. Yes, you're welcome. We did the hard part for you. We read both books, we went over them in detail, and we made it nice and easy for you. So you just have to sit back, relax, and watch this video. Ranger actually is one of the classes a lot of changes were made. I would say this is the class, one of the classes with the most significant amount of changes to it. I think we all know, hey, maybe this is just a personal opinion.
They needed it.
Yeah, I think everyone knew Ranger was a little bit of a class. You tended to usually multi-class if you went with the Ranger class. And this is not something, that was specific to 5e. Ranger has always had its little problems all the way back to 3.5, but they seriously beefed up Rangers this time around, did some major improvements to make it its own standalone class with its own specific differentiated features that are actually pretty cool. So we'll go through all of them here with you.
So Ranger's first big significant change that happened is they are no longer known spellcasters. They changed to prepared spellcasters. Bards and Rangers are the two that had this change, but unlike Bards, the Rangers are now able to change their prepared spells after a long rest.
So another big change is the favored enemy mechanic for a Ranger is totally different. It still starts at level 1, but now it's just a free use of Hunter's Mark. So the old favored enemy was very cool. It was cool in theory, but it was very specialized. Like if you had a very detailed campaign and a DM that spent a lot of time on things like language, race, terrain, all that stuff was built into the world building of this campaign, then having something like favored terrain would be really cool. A great example of this is the Crown of Candy Dimension 20 campaign that was built specifically. These are the lands, these are the people in these lands, these are the capabilities they can use, and then picking a favored terrain that gave you advantages in a specific land within that world was super cool. That is not usually the case, especially when you're doing more casual D&D, or maybe your DM doesn't want to spend hours and hours doing exhaustive, detailed world building. So this is something that is very common in the 2024 Player's Handbook. A lot of features that are tied to very specific circumstances or specific requirements to be used have been removed in favor of more generic features. This is both good and bad, as you'll see in some of the other videos. Sometimes it's bad because it makes it kind of boring. And sometimes like this, it's good, because you just don't know what you're getting into, which is one of those things when you're either building a Ranger or will keep you from wanting to build a Ranger because you're like, favorite terrain, like, I don't know, forest, right? We're going to be in the forest, but then if we're not in the forest, then all the things that I can use
just in the desert the whole
time.
time.
Yeah, like then it's not cool anymore.
Definitely, they added more utility.
Yeah.
Certainly trendy. Along with the trend as well is Hunter's Mark is the thing that Rangers are good at. And we talk about this in many class videos of how the new PHB did a really good job is letting characters that are good at a thing be really good at that thing. Yeah. So you'll see a lot of flavor.
And for Rangers, that is the Hunter's Mark. So a lot of the features that are added to this class are going to be built around making Hunter's Mark cooler. So as you'll see in our other videos, Barbarian, it's their Rage. Bard, it's their Bardic Inspiration. Rangers is Hunter's Mark. So there's going to be a lot of features that improve it, beef it up, make it cooler. And this is just the beginning of it. Getting a free use of Hunter's Mark, which is great. And just to clarify, Hunter's Mark is also always prepared, and you can actually cast it twice per long rest, and this number will increase as well as you level up. So it's basically making sure that you can always use Hunter's Mark, baby.
You got that. You got that on deck. That's your thing, Rangers.
That is your thing.
They changed Natural Explorer as well. So now it is Deft Explorer at level 2. So you gain proficiencies as well as a language. Just kind of once again removes it from being that hyper specific scenario in which it's beneficial, all based on your terrain and movement in that scenario. So now it just makes it something that's really versatile and you can use it all the time.
Yeah, and Natural Explorer was cool. Like there were cool features, like you could move better through difficult terrain. There was a lot of cool stuff. But again, hyper specific, and I actually did use this once really well when we were playing, again, a hyper-specific one-shot that was based in San Francisco. And so I picked a Ranger whose or favorite terrain was the city. And then so I got all these benefits when we were exploring around. I played like an 80-year-old lady who was like, I know the city like the back of my hand, like that kind of stuff, which was great for that hyper specific situation. So it was still really cool, but I get it. I mean, a language and a proficiency and an expertise is fine, but it is definitely going to be used way more than
It was always wonderful to play a ranger and use those features
for sure.
when you had a very specifically built campaign that you kind of knew the geographic area that was laid out for you. So you could build it based on that and really get to utilize it. But playing a ranger in a drop-in game where you have no idea what your setting's going to be, that's a lot more challenging. And you maybe don't get to use all of your cool features because you just take a wild guess at what you think your favored terrain or favored enemy should be.
Or even it's like you take a while, or you come in and you go, can I choose my terrain based on where we start? You're not going to stay there. In a campaign, you travel, you move around and stuff.
You start in a tavern, you end up going through a dimensional portal.
Yeah,
and
you're in a
on the
desert.
ocean.
So it was really cool, and that was a major nerf, but like it makes sense. It does make sense. At level 2, they also get the weapon mastery feature, which is a feature that basically almost every martial class gets, and it just allows their weapon to have certain properties like push, topple, vex, sap. It gives extra things that you can do when you're making weapon attacks.
At level 2, when you're choosing your fighting style, you can also decide to choose a druidic warrior instead as well. So you can kind of lean towards the more magic route.
Yeah, we're seeing that a lot built into the earlier level building of characters in a lot of 2024 Player's Handbook changes. It kind of makes you identify, what do you want to be? Do you want to be more magical? Do you want to be more martial? And giving you that option early on to be like, you can build your character this way if you want to. So you can forego the archery fighting style where you get a bonus to your ranged attacks. Instead, you can get some cantrips and do some more magic-y stuff. Another change in the same vein that we've been talking about, they removed the level 3 primeval awareness, which was similar to a paladin's divine sense, except it gave you a sense of certain kinds of creatures and a bonus for it if you were in your favorite terrain. Again, I feel like we're going to say this a lot. Super cool, but removing it makes sense why they removed it. They're taking away all those specific indicators that would give you those bonuses. But it was cool, but it doesn't fit in the new class, so...
On par with all of the other, making things more generic and have that extra utilization for it, is they changed level 8's land strike. It is now level 6 roving. So it used to be free movement on non-magical terrain or in like plants, anything, kind of on brand with ranger and terrain being hyper specific. Roving is now just kind of a generic buff. You get 10 feet of speed increased as long as you're not wearing heavy armor. And your climb speed and swim speed are equal to your speed.
Yeah, so instead of it being like half the movement, which it would be if you didn't have a climb or swim speed, now you can do it as normal. Which...
More movement, that's also a common theme for kind of all the classes.
Which I guess if you were a ranger, you would want to be able to... I don't really need to like walk through this plant-dense forest without invoking difficult terrain mechanics. I'm good. But it would be nice to climb up something really high and maybe shoot from above. So
yeah,
it makes more sense.
It does kind of make sense letting rangers be more broad with their capabilities of all terrains. They kind of get buffs on like more expansive buffs on movement in different terrains rather than just being like, you're a ranger, but only if you're in the forest.
Yeah. That's true. I guess it kind of it still seems like it is built for a good multi-class, perhaps, if you wanted to add a little ranger, a little sneaking kind of versatility to whatever martial class that you are willing to take. It still seems like it pairs well with other classes. Another interesting one is at level 9, you now get 2 extra skill proficiencies in skills that you weren't proficient in, which...
Okay.
It's kind of like late. Level 9's kind of high to be like, here's...
Yeah. Maybe they're doing it to prevent you from taking rogue to, kind of make up for... Because I feel like rogue ranger is like a really common multi-class. But also, you're right. It's kind of late in the game.
They're like, take
level
it.
9.
Take stealth. God.
Level 9, be good at more things.
Yeah. They're like, take your freaking investigation that you want so badly. Take it. Jesus. At level 9, super late. I still think it's kind of late, to be honest.
It's fine. It's still a buff.
I know, but that feels like something that should be like level 5 or level 6, but, whatever.
So at level 10, they gave Rangers sort of like a lay on hands type feature where you can give yourself hit points or decrease exhaustion. It's called Tireless.
That's cool. I feel like this is also something we see a lot in the 2024 Player's Handbook. They gave every martial class some kind of healing ability. They gave all classes, honestly, some kind of healing ability. But definitely, like, barbarians got some way to give them temporary hit points. Monks can give themselves a bunch of temporary or regular hit points. And now Ranger has their own kind of pool of healing second win feature that gives them a little extra oomph. I do think the exhaustion thing is an interesting flavor to it and feels Ranger.
Feels Ranger.
So I like that. Yes,
you could be traveling for days and not be exhausted. Or help alleviate that exhaustion.
I feel like it makes sense for the class. So I like it. It's good. It's a good addition to Ranger.
Since we're talking about good things, another really good thing. So they beefed up that hunter's mark. At level 13, you are a relentless hunter. Ooh. And you no longer can have your concentration broken by taking damage on your hunter's mark specifically.
Whoa, that's a great buff to your class feature.
Yeah,
that is a great buff
because that's their thing. That's their jam. So to allow them the opportunity to maintain concentration on hunter's mark.
Yeah, giving them more uses of hunter's mark. And now when you're level 14, which is that's a high level. That's a good.
That's appropriate.
That's an appropriate level for it to now not have to worry about the damage taken. That's a sick.
That's wonderful.
That's a great flavoring and upgrade to that feature. I think that's super smart. I love that. And then so for level 14, the feature Nature's Veil, very similar. It was a change to make it more generic. It was like a combo of the old level 10's hide in plain sight feature and the old level 14's vanish feature. They kind of combined them, tweaked it, and just made it higher level and had it just be at 14. It used to be for 1 minute you took leaves and shit and covered yourself in it, and then you would be invisible, but then you couldn't take any actions or move, or else the invisibility would be dropped. Which,
imagine you're spying on people, you do all this work, you're freaking PETA covered in leaves in the forest, and they just keep walking.
Yeah, it's like what? It's a very... Honestly, it's a pretty silly feature. I guess if you were doing reconnaissance in a stationary place, and then you had to spend a minute setting it up, whatever. It was a little bit silly. Vanish was cool, though. The old Vanish is what I'm talking about. So that was the old hide in plain sight. The old Vanish was cool. You could hide and not be tracked by non-magical means. That was actually a cool feature. But now Nature's Veil, which is the new level 14 feature, is just a bonus action invisible condition, which, again... just a better, more utility, generic. You're just going to be invisible.
Similar effect, just less hyper specific.
Yeah. So it takes away the flavor, although the flavor was
hilarious.
It was silly. Usually when some of the times we're a little upset that they take away the flavor from classes to make them more generic, but this one is just, it's so hilarious. Like, when were you going to use that? Like, literally only when you were being PETA in the Hunger Games and you just had time to kill and you're like, nobody find me, hold on, I'll be here.
It's gonna take a minute, but I'm gonna paint myself like the bricks of this wall, and I know the bad guys are gonna walk in here and have a lengthy conversation, and I will be invisible
and they won't see me.
Undetectable.
Incredible.
Then more buffs to those hunters, Mark. Level 17, you get Precise Hunter. So you basically get advantage on attack rolls on targets that are hunters marked.
Ooh, that's great. That's a great
Good
martial
buff.
Yeah, all these changes are making me realize how wimpy perhaps the old Rangers were, because like they all had their thing. Barbarians had their rage that gave them advantage, and then the fighters had their own kind of battle masters and maneuvers. And they're like, Rangers,
you had hunter's mark, but if you get hit one time,
too bad.
It's gone now.
Yeah, because getting advantage on all attacks on Hunter's Mark that can't be broken now. I mean, come on, that's great.
That's cool.
That's actually
great. That feels like some high level stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And for level 18, Feral Senses. So in the old Player's Handbook, it used to describe features and capabilities that basically are what Blindsight is now in the 2024 Player's Handbook. Blindsight is now a definition. It's the ability to see invisible creatures. You can also see even if you are in darkness or have the blinded condition. You can't see anyone who's behind total cover, but other than that, you can like basically see everything. And this just says you have blind sight. So it's basically the same. It's just defined now as this new blind sight condition.
And finishing off the major changes to Ranger at level 20, you used to get a buff on favored enemy, but now your Hunter's Mark is once again upped. It changes your dice from a D6 to a D10. So just more improvements, really doubling down on the fact that that is your thing, and we're going to make it more cool.
Honestly, D6 to D10.
Yeah, at level 20.
I'm like, that's...
I mean, it's definitely a buff. I think it's maybe a buff that should have occurred at level 10. I think a D6 to a D10 is
How many dice are you rolling for Hunter's Mark by the time you're level 20? Actually...
It's just one
it's
D6.
Just one, it's always one D6.
Well, actually, at level 20, it is now a one D10. So, yeah, that's... Oh, I think we kind of talk about this in every class change is... whether the level 20 feels like, now that's a level 20 change. This doesn't. This feels like
who cares?
A level 10.
So like a D. Oh, we
level
can be
14.
4 more hit points, which at level 20.
Yeah. I mean, it's really cool when you look at them all together. So your concentration can't be broken and
you get advantage.
Yeah. And now it's a D10.
And now you get 4 more. Well, I guess you are doing...
It adds up.
So, it is every attack.
And what? At level 20,
you have
3 attacks?
2 attacks? 3. You either have 2 attacks or 3 attacks, so that's 2d10.
Or 3d10.
It
adds.
It adds. We're like, it. Our voices get higher and higher.
It
like,
totally adds.
You know
it's
what?
fine.
It does add up.
It's great.
So,
Almost
sure, for level 20, it's great. Hey, so sick.
When you look at it all together... you can do a lot of stuff, and that's cool. Does this one individual feature feel like, now that's a level 20 thing? No, not really.
No, not really. Elder Champion still holds the crown for the coolest level 20, I think. Now that
was a level 20.
A level 20. All right, so now moving on to the Ranger subclass changes. So we'll go through all the changes made in each individual Ranger subclass, starting off with the Hunter subclass. So for the Hunter subclass, they added a level 3 feature called Hunter's Lore, which is actually pretty dope. Again, another beef of that good old Hunter's Mark. It gives an ability very similar to the Fighters Know Your Enemy, except... this is way cooler because if you have Hunter's Mark on someone, you get to know their immunities, resistance, and vulnerabilities. And this isn't limited like the fighters to, a bonus action or whatever they're doing once a long rest. This is whenever you have a Hunter's Mark. So
okay.
That's dope.
So you mark somebody and you know their shit.
Yeah.
You're like, you're marked, and...
yeah, gives it more versatility. That's great. I think that's a great addition.
I think that's wonderful, especially to add early on.
Also, at level 3, it used to be that you had to choose one or the other. You either got an extra damage kind of buff, or you got to maybe take an attack and then move it to another creature and do an extra attack. It's all the same, except they removed one of the options that you could do, but... they did make it now so it's interchangeable. So you can, when you do a long rest, you're able to, if you wanted to do Colossus Slayer one time and then Hordebreaker another time, you can switch them out depending on the day. You do only get to do one a day, so you can't do it like in the middle of the battle. But they removed Giant Killer, which was just a larger creature buff. I guess the old language could have been interpreted as anyone larger than you, but I think what they meant is that it was an actual like capital L large definition creature, but it was basically just Sentinel for large creatures. I don't know. It wasn't that crazy. I don't know why they needed to remove it, but it made it simpler, but I guess
fine. No feelings. Level 7, Defensive Tactics. This is one of those things where you get multiple features. Most everything is the same, except for they did make a little bit of change. With the multi-attack defense, you used to get a +4 bonus to your AC. Now it just imposes disadvantage on the enemy attacking you.
Great.
And then they removed Steel Will, which seems a little inconsequential.
Yeah, it was just like advantage on saving throws against being frightened, which again, like the thing we just talked about, feels really inconsequential.
Yeah,
like
could have kept it.
Yeah, I mean, this is something
fine.
that you used to get as a Fae race thing, so maybe that's built into the new character building feats or I don't know. Another inconsequential change where you're like, all right,
Okay.
sure.
It doesn't offend me?
And I also don't know why you need to remove it.
Don't think it.
It's kind of cool. I don't want to be frightened.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool feature to not be able to or to have advantage against being frightened.
So a big change they did make, which is it's a nerf, is level 11. They went from multi-attack to now superior hunter's prey, and honestly, multi-attack kind of ruled. So I'll read off like what it used to be. So you can use your action to make a range attack against any number of creatures within 10 feet of a point you can see within your weapon's range.
Wow.
You must have ammunition for each target as normal, and you make a separate attack roll for each target, but it was, basically an area of effect spell. Or you got whirlwind attacked, and you can use your action to make a melee attack against any number of creatures within 5 feet of you, again, using a separate attack roll for each target, which was like back in especially the 2014 Player's Handbook, wizards are kind of one of the only classes that got area of effect spells. Obviously, this is way smaller. It's 10 feet, it's 5 feet, but it's still, for rangers who couldn't do anything, having an area of effect feature is rad. Also, range attacks, what are they doing? Are they doing a D6? Like how crazy is this area of effect when they're shooting their little bow and arrows? It's like what rolling D6s like. I mean, and it's not even like you're rolling a bunch of high damage and dealing it to everyone like you would be with a fireball. It's like each person gets their, like, sure, whatever.
Yeah, you can only hunter's mark one creature.
Yeah, so like, it wasn't crazy. Like, I feel like it's a pretty low, like small potato,
low
area
stakes
of effect.
AOE spell. Or ability, I should say.
But the thing that did make it a little OP is that unlike for, maybe a monk costing a key point or a spellcaster costing a spell slot, you could just do it anytime you attacked. So
yeah,
that's not, that adds up. That does add up. So I do.
So they limited it. So now Hunter's Prey is just doing extra Hunter's Mark damage on 2 creatures that you can see within 30 feet, right?
Cool. 2 people get an extra D6. Look out. 2 people. You're getting
2 of you. Watch out.
Which it's still cool, guys.
It is cool, still, especially to hit multiple targets. But
if I didn't know about multi-attack, I'd be like, wow, that's super useful getting to hit 2 targets with extra Hunter's Mark. Great. No, what a great feature. But I know about multi-attack and whirlwind attacks. So
now you're like, this is less cool when I compare it side by side to what it used to be. And you
I just don't like, these are the kind of things where I can see why it's a little crazy. I can see, but also if you watch our monk video, monks got so many additions to their class. Rangers can't have this stupid one thing. Who cares? Yeah. Was it really like disrupting game?
Were Rangers ever so OP? They needed a big bad AoE effect removed.
Let's be serious. No. They're little bow and arrows. Come on.
But at least it stays on brand with buffing that Hunter's Mark. Yeah. That's your thing, and you're gonna do a real good job.
So good.
Then at level 15, another simplification. So Superior Hunter's Defense. It used to be where you could have evasion, stand against tide, or uncanny dodge, and now you just choose damage resistance. We love resistance. That's good. But
we're beating the dead horse, but sometimes these simplifications are like, what are they for? Like,
this is tasteless.
This
is bland.
Yeah, because it's like monks catch a missile, right? A rogue evades. They have things that are very of their class, and now this is just bland resistance. Who cares?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, exactly. It's not a huge deal, not a huge nerf, but also, I don't know. It feels bland.
Yeah, I kind of wish it was like me being like, you should have come up with something more creative. I don't know what that is. I don't know what the more creative thing would be. That's your job, not mine.
Yeah.
But I wish it was.
We're just here to complain about it.
I'm just going to complain. How about that? I do wish it was a little more rogue specific, or what the old. this is where it gets hard. What the old book used to do, it'd be like, because you are a ranger and you're so skilled and so well adapted to the environment around you, you are now resistant to, and it would like spend a paragraph explaining that, which honestly, there was a lot of words in those books, and sometimes you'd be like, wait, can I do this or not? Like, I'm 3 paragraphs in and you haven't explained it. I get it. But also, I don't know. I love that lore. Give me the lore. And now, moving on to the Beastmaster subclass changes, there were changes made to the animal companion. Guys, I think this is a good thing. So, animal companion used to be pretty complicated. They were honestly kind of a liability. You were scared of it dying because if it died, it was gone. You had to bond to some other willing animal, and you would have to like use your action.
Hey, what happened to the last guy?
Well, let's go find another dog that sniffed my hand and wants to be by me. No, like, I don't know. It was complicated. It wasn't like summoning a familiar or anything. You had to go find an animal that wanted to be with you, and then it died. It's like, that animal's dead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And how tragic.
R.I.P. All that stuff you built up. Yikes, go find someone else. It made you hesitant to bring them anywhere. We talked about Crown of Candy earlier, but I think we all know what I'm talking about from that campaign. But you would have to use your action to make your animal companion do something. It was also based on like CR rating from the monster man. A lot of it was complicated. It was a little complicated and just a liability. The action economy is slightly different. So it can react on its own to do things like dodge, but it has to take a bonus action to do basic stuff like moving and engaging with things. And the attack economy is the same, where it will cost one of your attacks to make it attack, but it will actually, if you are down, it will like move on its own and stuff and go live its life. So maybe if you do die, you can be like, run away, flee.
Your final word.
Instead of it just being like. So now it's basically just the same mechanics as a Pact of the Chain Warlock's familiar in terms of, the action economy, all that stuff. But as for the beasts dying, so instead of always having to replace them, like I said, with another willing rando animal, because I guess you're a Beastmaster Rogue and animals Snow White style are just following you around. You can be like, you're in, coach, like get in there. You're off the bench. But you can now expend a spell slot to revive it within 1 hour, and it's the same animal. It's your same bud. And it comes back with all of its HP. If it's longer than 1 hour, then you can summon a different beast after a long rest. But instead of having to seek out an animal, you can just summon an animal, kind of like summoning a steed for a paladin.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a summoned familiar. You have a little bit more security that if it dies, it's not forever dead with innocent animal blood on your hand. Oh my gosh. So that's
great.
I think that's so nice.
That's great.
To remove that.
This is also a common theme. We talk about this in a lot of videos, but for the 2024 Player's Handbook changes, they make a lot of changes for you to have more agility and speed and movement on the battlefield, a lot more healing capabilities, and a lot of little guy spells. And this is another little guy spell.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, your little guy? Problematic. So hard.
Yeah.
So tragic. Now, you can rest
your
easy.
little buddy. Yeah.
Bring him to battle. Why not?
Bring
along.
him to battle. Don't be so nervous, especially if that's a thing that you have. Like, you're a Beastmaster. You've got a beast companion. But if you care about it, you're not trying to send it into battle so that it can die forever.
Yeah, I mean, in Critical Role, the campaign one, lore-based Vex.
Yeah.
She had Trinket, that bear. They literally had a necklace that they would put him inside of because it was like,
because he was a liability.
Bring him. It's too dangerous. So this is great. This is a smart and apt move for the Beastmaster class. And the only other change made to the Beastmaster subclass is level 7 exceptional training. Hey, we're not perfect. I'm a little confused. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read it for you. Maybe you guys can figure it out. So it's when you take a bonus action to command your primal companion beast to take an action, you can also command it to take the dash, disengage, dodge, or help action using its bonus action. And then in addition, whenever it hits with an attack roll and deals damage, it can deal your choice of force damage or its normal damage type. The confusing part is your primal companion uses its bonus action to do its normal things like help, dodge, disengage, that kind of stuff. So now it's saying that it can take its bonus action and then we'll have another action.
Yeah. It's normal beast actions are dash, disengage, whatever. And then now at level 7, it can do those things
Hey,
as a bonus action.
I'd like to say we're the experts, but sometimes we need a little help too.
Yeah.
This one, I'm not going to lie, confuses me. We're going to move on. Someone please tell us in the comments what the hell it means, because
Yeah, are we reading this weird?
I feel like we're reading it weird, and if we just had one word maybe or phrase changed, hey, you tell us, we're moving on. And now for the last Ranger subclass, the Gloom Stalker subclass changes.
So Dreadful Strike changed a little bit because we removed surprise rounds.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
starting us out, Dreadful Strike used to be an extra attack on the first action, but now it's not an additional attack, it's additional damage. And they also upped it from 1d8 of the weapon's property damage to now being 2d6s of psychic damage. You're also able to use it up to a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier each long rest, so each day.
Interesting. This is different good. I mean, obviously that first round of combat thing was very cool, but with removing the surprise round stuff, they removed a lot of the stuff that was like first attack in the surprise condition.
You got the drop on them.
Yeah, and so now instead of making it contingent on the first attack, having it always once per turn is actually not, that's pretty good because it's 2d6. It obviously if you hit, but that's
I
a
think
lot.
that's great. And you can use it multiple times. So it's not just on an enemy. I believe that it used to be on an enemy that had not gone in combat yet.
Yeah.
And so, after that first full round of combat, everyone's already gone. So it was really only useful when you first started out the fight.
Is this sneak attack?
Sorta.
Is this just
They're a little roguey for your ranger.
Is this just sneak attack?
Yeah, but that was like the Gloom Stalker's thing, is like
that's true. It's very
getting the
similar.
drop on people.
And then Rogue also actually had a first attack ability, didn't they? In one of the
Assassin.
yeah. This is the hey.
They're kind of
Yeah.
They're steering it. They see you. They
mirror-
see all you Rogue Ranger multiclassers out there.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Quit
okay,
it. Hey,
let's-
cut it out. Stop
Yeah.
multi-classing as a rogue.
We'll just give you that
Give
thing.
it to you.
We'll give you that thing.
Some more changes. Level 3 Umbral Sight increases from 30 feet to 60 feet. Also, level 11, there was a little change. Stalker's Fury was improved. It changed from what it used to be was just another opportunity to attack if you missed. Now it's upgrading the Dreadful Strikes you got at level 3 from 2d6 to 2d8. And if you use Dreadful Strike, you can either get an additional attack or you can cause fear, which is Gloom Stalker. Makes sense. I like this. This is a great change. Love it.
Flavored, appropriate.
Flavored, appropriate. How Gloom Stalkery.
Yeah. Level 15, they changed Shadowy Dodge a little bit. I think they improved it, honestly. So you used to use a reaction to impose disadvantage specifically on an attack that did not have advantage. And now they changed it to imposing disadvantage on any attack, as well as you get the ability to teleport up to 30 feet. So on theme with giving more movement,
Have
baby.
we said it in this video
Yeah.
yet? We repeat ourselves in every video, but so many teleporting. Every class gets one teleporting feature.
Yeah, I think so.
It's kind of crazy. Why do they want you to teleport so bad?
They want you to move. They want you to use that terrain, that layout.
No, but this is great. I think this is way better. We all love our Misty Steps. We all love our ping pang pooming across the board. Yeah, great.
I'm glad to know that I certainly was far from being the only person that probably always took like, what is it, Fey touched as a feat. That I was just always hungry for like, okay,
Misty
level 4,
Step.
forego my ability scores so
Must have Misty
so I can move.
Yeah, well, fear not. If you like Misty Step, the 2024 Player's Handbook will make sure you have it.
You're
girly
probably
pop.
getting it.
Yeah, so fear not. But that is all the changes made to the Ranger. Nothing crazy, but a lot of changes, good ones.
Yeah.
Solid ones.
Better beefed up that hunter's
Makes
mark.
a ranger a rangery.
Ranger-er.
Makes a rangerer. So, slay.
Nice.
Nice.
Good one. Good job.
All right. Well, that's it. If you like this video, we made one for every single class. So check that out. Show us some love. And that is all for this episode. Goodbye.